Nice. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, so welcome to the 4 Point Play podcast and happy new NBA year to you all guys. I hope you had
Happy
an
New Year.
amazing happy new year. So me, let's sorry, I had to, let's do it again.
Okay, maybe you didn't want me to interrupt. I won't
No,
talk
no,
until you
no.
tell me
No,
to
you're
talk.
right. Like I don't know why I'm nervous. So I'll do it again. And I try not to shout. I always shout.
That's fine.
All
Just go
right.
for it. That's your
Ready?
style. Be
Cool.
yourself.
Cool. Welcome to the 4 Point Play podcast and a happy new NBA year to you all. Samy as well. How are you, man?
Good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I hope you had an amazing end of the 2018. And, not for you, Samy, but I hope everyone else hangover did not ruin your 1st of January. This is
Yeah.
Alberto, Italian living in Manila, but in Italy for the holidays. And we have Samy on the line from Melbourne. How are you, my friend? Happy New Year to you and the family.
I'm very good, thank you. I indeed did not get hangover because I do not drink. I'm an athlete, or try to be. But surprisingly, that was fine. My New Year's was fine, both the eve and the next day. I've been working hard on the garden. We are receiving our loan tomorrow that we're going to install. So
Oh,
that's the big
wow.
project.
Nice.
In the meantime, I just sit around and watch basketball.
That's,
No, I'm
that's like the
kidding.
best.
I basically have to prepare the garden, so I did a lot of that, and had a few friends involved as well today. So that was good. Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice.
How about you?
So,
You sound like you're a little bit hangover, even though we are the 3rd of January. So what's going on? Sorry, wait a second.
no, that's a second, man. So first of all, I know that my girlfriend is on the line. She's watching us. So, and she's in Manila. So
Hi,
I'm
Marie.
not. Hello, Marie. I'm not hangover at all. Maybe it was yesterday, but I didn't know that you could actually sleep go out until 7 a.m. in my small town. But that's what I did with my friends. But let's stick to
Sweet.
basketball. So, as you know, guys, we are two European friends who, despite the long distance, we miss each other so much that we decided to do a weekly podcast where we discuss
And one.
NBA topics every week. So, before we start, a friendly reminder that you can find us on iTunes, you can get us on Spotify, and we also have a Twitter account where the handle is at the_4 point play. Twitter account that we update on a daily basis. We got up to 530 followers. We're super excited for that. I don't know how that happened, but hey, let's get straight to business. So this week has been amazing for the NBA, and probably also because we both had a lot of time to watch NBA. And so let's get right into my topics, right? So last night I sent you this tweet where this NBA journalist said that Harden is scoring 11.91 points per game on unassisted threes, and Curry is the second. Steph Curry is the second best in the NBA history with 7.17 points, and that was the year he won the anonymous MVP. So no
Yeah.
one else has ever topped 6.
Yeah.
So and Harden is currently scoring almost 12 points per game. This is insane. And then in the last 12 games, he's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm on Reddit, I'm on Twitter. He's receiving so much hate. It's crazy. His haters are all about, the fouls, the refs. He got 27 free throws the other day. And actually, Clyde Drexler, he was commentating. I was like, this is insane. I think my top was 13 in one game. But James Harden at 20, he shot 27 free throws in one game. Obviously, his haters hate him big time. I don't know where I am. If I don't think I'm a hater, I'm actually enjoying his phenomenal playing over the last couple of years. But the question I'm asking you for the day, my first topic is: do you think James Harden is underrated, or do you think he's overrated? As in, would you include him in the top 50 players ever, or would you just laugh at me when I say he's got a chance to be in the top 50 players ever?
Well, I think he has a chance to be in the top 50 offensive players ever. I think if you include defense, it's another story. I'm not saying he's bad on defense. I'm just saying that he still has ways to go to be proven as a good defender. I think the reason he's polarizing is, I think, how I would describe James Harden, why some people like him and some people don't. Specifically, you'll find that a lot of people who live in Houston, Texas, tend to like him, and others tend to not like him.
Yeah, true. That's very true.
His style of play is not necessarily nice to watch. I don't particularly enjoy him taking 20 step back threes and driving to the paint and drawing the foul, drawing the contact. I think James Harden, the way I would describe him is, he has found multiple loopholes in the NBA current officiating, and he's exploiting all these loopholes in the best way he can. On top of loopholes, he's also playing the game the way it's supposed to be played in today's analytics, which is shooting threes, driving to the paint, shooting threes, driving to the paint, or pick and roll, alley-oop to Clint Capella, etc. So his style of play is not as, I would say, nice to watch as, say, when Steph Curry got unanimous MVP. We're like, who is this guy who looks like a 15-year-old kid who can shoot threes from anywhere? This has never been seen before. And he's hitting threes at a crazy ratio, and it's unbelievable. And oh my God, he's the best player on the planet, etc. He's not the big athletic monster that LeBron James or Kawhi or might be, and he's not the scoring threat that a guy like Kevin Durant can be, where KD can score from anywhere and he can take anyone one-on-one because of either his size or he can take big man and small man, etc. James Harden, regardless of who he has on him, is always going to be the same play. Take it at the top of the paint, top of the key, just outside the three-point shot, dribble between the legs, behind your back, between the legs, behind your back, fake driving right, drive left, or whatsoever. Either then step back and go for a three-point shot, or drive to the paint, draw contact, and draw a foul.
You sound like an NBA scout.
Yeah, I am. No,
it's like you're interviewing for an NBA scout position. But that's amazing. That's impressive, man.
Yeah, and I think that's why he's so polarizing, because some people say, well, clearly he can get a shot off anytime he wants, wherever he likes, depending on what the situation accounts for, and that's fantastic. Or you can say, well, he's always doing the same thing, which yes, kind of works, and it works, but it's not nice to watch. So what should we like or not like? In terms of underrated or overrated, I think the fact that he's polarizing means that he's just rated, if you like. Some people hate him and think that he's overrated because he's not that good, he has no defense, etc. Some people love him and say, well, why isn't he receiving more props to being the MVP, and he's clearly the best player in the West and whatever. And I think they're also sticking back to how Houston got to where they were last year and the years before, and what he's done. The problem as well, which is why today maybe not so many people are talking about him for MVP, is that Houston had a poor start. So that's not working in his favor. If he continues on his current rhythm, I think he'll be right up where he needs to be in the MVP conversation, and he'll be back in the loop for, possibly another MVP type season. But we'll see. The problem with Houston is that if he continues to play like that, what's going to happen Game 7 in the playoffs, and is he going to run out of steam again? So he needs support, and
On this point, what I want to add is I was watching Portland playing when they actually beat the Warriors in Golden State, in San Francisco, in Oakland, actually.
Yeah.
And I saw this play where they were trying to get Steph Curry to shoot a three. And obviously he went through one block and then he couldn't get the shot. And then he went through another screen, not block. That was an Italian translation. So one screen and he couldn't get it. And then he went to the other side, another screen, couldn't get it. And then he went to another screen and he finally could get it. And I was amazed because, first of all, he missed the shot. But secondly, the type of player that Steph and James Harden are completely different. But at the same time, from aerobic point of view, I would be interesting to see who gets more tired, because Steph just keeps on running around. He gets the ball and he shoots it.
Yeah.
Whereas James Harden is constantly with the ball, even when Chris Paul gets back, he's got the ball a lot. So I don't know who gets more tired, but it's definitely, I'm amazed. I saw that 12 points on unassisted three. It's like, damn.
Yeah, no, it's a lot, and I think it's different tiredness. I think running around, yes, gets you tired, but you also follow a system. Whereas James Harden's system is, I'll give you the ball, and in your brain you have to always analyze what the best play is and come up with the best play every
time. You're right. It's also mental tiredness.
Exactly. That's what's tiring, not necessarily the fatigue of running around and chasing, going off the screens and just following whatever the system tells you, and sometimes improvising. Because let's not get carried away. Steph Curry can also take threes off the dribble, and do what James Harden does, and sometimes he also drives to the paint and all that. But because he has, I guess, a wider variety of moves that he does, it's probably overall less mentally tiring than what James would do.
Yeah, and at the same time, what I guess the game is changing a lot. Like all these free throws, all these players getting smarter, and obviously, like Blake Griffin a couple of days ago, he got his iPad and he showed it to the ref, like saying, "Hey, that was a foul like a minute ago." And
I saw that.
And right now, there's so much analysis and video analysis behind every single game that the players know. When James Harden and all of the other players right now, when they see like the hand in front of them, what they do is just raise the ball, and that's a foul. But there's so many free throws that the game is. I don't know what I'm going to do when I'm gonna watch a Houston Rockets series. That's kind of annoying to watch these many free throws. It's a completely different game. So anyway, James Harden is good. Let's just enjoy him because he's taking the Houston Rockets to the fifth seed right now. He might get up and up. The Lakers, I think they're tied with the Lakers. The Lakers will play Oklahoma tomorrow. Really good game. First time of Lonzo Ball playing against the Thunder and against Russell Westbrook. So definitely,
really? Was he injured previous times?
Yeah, he was injured, and also Westbrook missed the game. So let me rephrase it: not the first time that Ball plays the Thunder. First time that Ball and Westbrook play against each other. Yeah. So man, obviously, I'm really sorry, guys.
I know.
I'm really sorry.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming from Slovenia. Oh man, how you watch this? Everyone watched that amazing shot, with 0.6 seconds left
against the Trailblazers. Of course.
Against the Trailblazers, and everyone watched him playing really well against Oklahoma. I was amazed at watching him getting defended by Paul George, so one of the best defensive players in the league. And I'm also amazed at how many free throws he's actually getting, because I think over the last 5 games he's getting to the line 6 times, so 11 in total, 12 in total, and that's just insane for someone who's playing in the NBA for three months. So
sorry, Alberto, sorry to cut you off. I'm not sure, who are we talking about?
We're not talking about DeAndre Ayton. We're not talking about Jaren Jackson.
Are we talking about a rookie? Oh, which rookie are we talking about? I've never heard you talk about this guy. Who is he?
Sorry, man. Luka, even my best friend, he loves Luka Doncic. But last night we went for a walk. He's like, dude, you already have a girlfriend. Can you please stop talking about it? Because he told me I'm getting him to dislike Luka Doncic because of how often I talk about him. Anyway,
that's interesting.
I'll just cut it.
He superstar status already. He's already a superstar. Everyone's talking about him, and the refs are giving calls that superstars get, and not a lot of rookies get that. Yeah,
you're right. But my question is not merely about Luka Doncic. Is about Right. Like you said, the refs are giving him attention, the news, the media, and whatnot. So I was thinking, well, it's January. It's going to be All-Star game time in 40 days, I think. And I started looking at the list of rookies that actually played the All-Star game. So the last one was Blake Griffin in 2011. That we're going back to 2003 with Yao.
Yeah.
1998 with Tim Duncan. 1995 with Grant Hill, who actually led the votes. I didn't know that he led the vote. Yeah, the voting. That was insane.
There was a lot of hype around Grant Hill.
Yeah, and then there were 7 years where obviously it was about centers. So Shaq, Dikembe, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, and then Jordan, Olajuwon, and whatnot. So that was usual. That wasn't as rare as it is right now.
Yeah.
To get a rookie to be in the All-Star game. And also, bear in mind, 15 or 20 years ago, most rookies, NBA rookies, they were coming from 4 years of college. So they were already developed. So it's quite rare that we have like someone like Luka Doncic, because he's played for 3 years or 4 years in Europe. He's played EuroLeague and whatnot. So my question to you is, do you think Luka Doncic is already an All-Star? Do you think he's going to be playing the All-Star game or not? Because also there's this guy who I met who's like a really good friend of mine who didn't play the All-Star game when he was a rookie, and his name is LeBron James. He played the last 14, but he didn't play in the first year. So my question to you, do you think Luka Doncic should be in the All-Star game? Do you think he deserves it?
Well, look, I haven't yet, I guess, crunched the numbers and had a look at who I would put in my All-Star game vote. I think that based on how he plays and how he's already carrying the Mavs, there is certainly a place for him to get a vote. There is possibly a place for him to be in the reserves. I think, again, because he's already achieved superstar potential, he will certainly also get votes from what I'd call the casual NBA fan or semi-casual, the person who knows a little bit about basketball but doesn't necessarily watch too much, outside of, I guess, the direct Dallas Mavericks fans. So I think there's a chance that he might make the reserves. It's a difficult question again, because I haven't looked at who else would be, I guess, in the guard spots, and you have guys like
Samy, Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard made his first All-Star game appearance last year. That's how crowded the Western Conference is.
Yeah, exactly. So it's tough to pick him right now. If Doncic would have been in the NBA 20 years ago, it's no question, absolutely he's in, with the current statistics that he has. And I think when you brought up the previous players, and I had a look at them as well, and his statistics are very similar to what some of the other rookies would have done statistically at the time when they were selected, even for starting spots, in terms of numbers, points per game, assists per game, rebounds per game. So statistically, he's right up there with previous rookies who have been selected. Does it mean that he will get to the All-Star game this year? I don't think so. Should he? I really enjoy watching him. I think he's an entertainer as well, and he's enjoyable to watch. So I would like to see him in the All-Star game. Does he deserve to be in the All-Star game? I think is a different question. I think maybe not this year, even if I would love to see him there. I think that's going to be my answer.
Okay. I don't think that's going to happen. And I'm actually happy with it, because I know that Luka is a very competitive guy.
Oh, yeah.
And he's going to get, that anger and that competitiveness is going to fire him up. And he's going to get to that point where he's going to get better and better, because he wants to be in the All-Star game. So,
did you check who is the youngest person to be in the All-Star game ever?
No. Do you know?
No, I don't know. And so can you check that? And second question, do you know when Kobe did his first All-Star game appearance?
Man, real life, I don't know.
I don't know that either. See how bad we are. But
So Kobe was 19, and he 19 years, and he actually had a team high of 18 points.
He was 19 years, so it's his second season in the NBA. He made All-Star game. Yes.
Yeah, and correct. He was actually the youngest player to start in NBA
he was a starter.
Game. Yeah, at the age of 19 years and 170 days in the 1998 NBA All-Star game. So
Doncic is 19. Again, if he would have been playing at the time of Kobe, possibly he would have made it. I don't think this year he's making
it. Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it.
I think there's just too much competition in the West. You could, I don't even know if you could make a case for him in the East, but maybe you.
Maybe. You're right. You made a really good point, man. You made a really good point because
it's really hard as well in the East. It's not that easy. Kemba is having a good season again. Kawhi, Lowry is playing well. I mean,
what did you say? What was the second one? Kawhi. Can we get straight to the third topic? That's like the perfect introduction.
Yeah, of course. I stopped there. My list was finished.
Man, do you know what's gonna happen on Thursday night U.S. time and on Friday night our time? Do you know what's gonna happen?
No, please tell me.
Kawhi is returning to San Antonio.
Ooh!
Wow. What do you expect the Spurs fans to boo him, or what's the reaction going to be like in your point of view?
I wish that the Spurs fans would bring a massive megaphone with a recorded sample of his laugh in Toronto and just play that the whole game.
Yeah. That would be
just play that the whole game. No, I'm kidding. I think that he will get boos.
But not as bad as LeBron's going back to Cleveland.
I don't expect the Spurs fans to be that kind of people either. So I think he will get some boos. I don't think he will get a lot of cheers unless the Spurs have prepared a tribute video, but there has been no communication whatsoever. I think it's too soon. I think it's too soon for him to be welcome as, hey, he's our former finals MVP for us and he won a title for us, so let's just cheer this guy up. So I think he will get some boos and they may last for a few plays, if not the whole game, at least a little bit.
I think there's going to be a massive standing ovation for Danny Green because he played there for a long time. He was actually the MVP in 2013 in the first 5 games. Remember, I think he hit the 3-point. He had the record for the most 3 points made in an NBA final.
Yeah.
And until Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and the 3-point warriors started, but Danny Green is gonna get massive standing ovation, and I think the Spurs should actually do a tribute video for him. But
it's hard if they do that for Green and not for Kawhi. I mean, what message are they sending?
Yeah, you're right. Like Pops would never do that. He's too classy to do that. But
I think they're not gonna do for any of these. Yeah. But I don't know.
But actually, man, my question is not about Kawhi's return to San Antonio. And actually, I wasn't certain because I wanted to talk about the Spurs and their amazing December. They're playing so well. I think they're in the top 3 from a defensive point of view, and they are the best offensive team. They were the best offensive team in December. And after a rough start, now they have the rookie playing. I'm actually. Did you watch him play? I actually watched him yesterday. It's really good against the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is more: what would have happened to the Spurs? If Zaza Pachulia was not an asshole and hadn't destroyed Kawhi Leonard's ankle in the finals in 2016. Sorry, in the Western Conference Finals in 2016. And what would have happened to the Spurs if Kawhi actually stayed in San Antonio?
Was still there. Well, I think this season we would still, well, I think if Kawhi stays, you have a few things which happen. Danny Green stays. I think maybe Tony Parker signs for another year on a veteran contract. I think, what if DeJounte Murray doesn't get injured either? I think
Yeah.
you have a different season in the Spurs. It doesn't mean that they would be at the top of the West, but it means that they probably would not be in a tricky position right now where they have a strong chance of not making the playoffs. But I mean, if Kawhi stayed under the previous conditions, which were that he didn't want to be there, I don't think we would have seen him play much, which would have been really, really weird to watch. But if Kawhi stayed and let's say he was happy to be with the Spurs and had signed his max extension or whatever, I think he was eligible for the SuperMax actually. Then it's a different story. Then I think that certainly you can make a case for the Spurs to also would have also traded a couple of other guys for better assets and like again competing for the championship. Yeah, I mean it was a well-oiled machine with good veterans, good young guys, and a star player in Kawhi who was again we have forgotten, but was in the MVP conversation just a year and a half ago. So you can't dismiss a player like that, and he's back into the conversation actually.
Did you watch the games last night? Do you know the score?
No, I didn't, but I saw that he scored 45 points and one assist. Not very good, Kawhi. You have to pass the ball more.
And he had this layup on Rudy Gobert at the end. I think last 5 minutes of the game. I'm like, how did you score that? So if you have a chance, have a look at it. Maybe I'll send you a link. And also, if you're talking about the Utah Jazz, I have no idea if they're gonna make the playoffs. But hey, I only have 3 topics, so I'm going to hand the 4th topic to you, unless you want to talk about the Utah Jazz. What's that, man?
No, we spoke about the Utah Jazz last time, and as I said, they don't matter to me. They're not relevant now, neither for the next few years. So go away, Jazz. Even if you have a Frenchman playing there.
You're like, fuck you, Utah.
My topic is so that 4th point play, I guess is kind of related to Kawhi and the conversations around the SuperMax extension that he could have had. So this week we had John Wall's decision to end his season and choose to have surgery just before his SuperMax contract kicks in for next year. So good job, John Wall. He's been, to a certain extent, criticized for the way he's handled the season so far, the way the Wizards have played. But that's not really what I want to talk about. Obviously, when you look at it today, you can say, well, clearly it was a mistake to give John Wall his SuperMax extension back then because, well, he's probably never going to be the same player again, and maybe he's really bad for the Wizards locker room, and we're kind of stuck with him because his contract is too big to be traded. There are a few other guys at the end of this season who will be eligible for SuperMax extension. 7 of them technically actually would qualify this year if they make an All-NBA team. So you have a few different criteria which need to be met. But let me give you that list of 7 guys, and I want you to tell me who, if you were the GM, who you're signing to the SuperMax and who you are not signing to the SuperMax.
All right.
Knowing that this means 5-year contract and that you're taking possibly a big risk for the franchise because you're tying your franchise to that player for the next 5 years.
Let me write those down.
So we have Giannis.
Okay.
I don't think you'll need the last names for any of these guys.
Yeah,
no. Bradley Beal. Brad Beal. We have Drummond. We have Draymond Green.
Ooh.
Klay Thompson, Damian Lillard, and Kemba Walker. Now, for all these guys to be eligible, they need to make an All-NBA team. So it hasn't happened yet. They need to make that team. You also need to know that a team can only sign a maximum of 2 guys. So if you say, yeah, I'll give it to Clay, then you can't give it to Draymond because Steph Curry already has the extension.
Whoa,
So it's
okay.
only
I
you can
didn't know
only give
that.
it to.
I
Yeah,
didn't know that. And they need to make the All-Star this year, the All-Star
no,
team
not
this
All
year
Star,
or
the All NBA team.
All NBA. Yeah, sorry,
I
but
think
this
this
year.
year or last year. So if they made it last year, I think that's fine as well. And I don't know who made it last year.
Okay. And they can actually reject the offer, right?
Let's assume they all make it. Yeah, they can, obviously. Let's
Okay.
assume they all make the All NBA team. Who are you giving? Let's assume they're all eligible, basically. So who are you giving it to, and who are you not giving it to? Giannis, are you giving him the Supermax?
Dude, if you don't mind, I'd rather not go one by one. I'm gonna tell you who I'm gonna give it to for sure, like 100%. If I'm the GM and I don't offer it to these players, then they need to shoot me like right away. So the first player is obviously the Greek freak, no doubt, no doubt at all. Like he's a beast and he's going to be one of the best players. Even if Milwaukee's not gonna make the Eastern Conference Finals in the next 2 years, like I said last week. You give it to Lillard for sure. Lillard over McCollum, even if they're gonna sign McCollum, but there's no way. Lillard is way too good. He's the face of the franchise, and there's no doubt they have to offer it to him. And he loves Portland as well. You give it to Clay. You don't give it to Draymond. Clay, I'm a big fan. He's not playing really well this year. I think that Clay would have had a completely different career if he went somewhere else. He could have been in the 30 points per game kind of players, but he doesn't care. He just wants to win. That's why he stayed in San Francisco with the Warriors. You give it to Clay and not to Draymond Green because of Clay is mentally stable. Draymond is not. And linking yourself to a kind of player who's also physically, let's say, more fresh than Draymond, I would definitely prioritize Clay over Draymond. What I mean by that is Draymond has played a lot of battles, a lot of mental fights, a lot of physical fights, whereas that's not the same case for Clay. For Clay, exactly. Then you give it to Kemba Walker. Why? Because you have no other option. Because otherwise you're fucked. Sorry for the F word, but you're fucked. Because you're Charlotte. What else are you going to do? You give it to Kemba because also he deserves it. He's amazing. He's amazing, and we have to talk about Kemba Walker because he has no help whatsoever in Charlotte. He's the best player in Charlotte aside from Walker is Jeremy Lamb.
It's Michael Jordan. It's Michael Jordan.
Yeah. And then let's go down to Drummond and Beal. Let's start from Beal. I love Beal, but sorry, I think the Wizards are going to do it, but I wouldn't. Why would the Wizards do it? Because the Wizards management is so bad that I'm sure they're gonna do it. Why wouldn't I do it? Because I already had Wall. In 2022-23, he's going to get 47 million. John Wall.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't. But he's really good. He's really good.
I think he's the one who deserves it in Washington, but I think Washington made the. I mean, it's easy in hindsight, and back in the days, Wall was clearly a player that you were to say it was easy to say, yeah, absolutely, we're sending him to the extension because he's amazing. Unfortunately, his career turned, and it is what it is now. And but in hindsight, if I had 2020 vision in the future, I would have given it to Beal, or I would give it to Beal and not to Wall. The problem is that even if they offer it to Beal, I think he walks away from it. I don't think he stays.
Yeah, he doesn't want to stay. He doesn't want to stay. Drummond, I don't think so. I wouldn't give it to him. I wouldn't. I think they will, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't, man. That's not if it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe. But honestly, Drummond, yeah, it's great. Has he shown anything? I mean, he's shown a lot, but I mean, it's not a franchise player, to be honest.
He's still young. He's still quite young.
Yeah, he is very young. But that's my answer for you, man. Like, you
cool.
know, I love to have that money to give to players.
He is 25.
He's 25. Wow. But I wouldn't, and I'm amazed. I don't know honestly if he was a supermax or not, but Chris Paul contract as well. He wasn't a supermax because he's signed with the Rockets.
I think it was max extension. Oh, sorry, max contract, but not supermax. Supermax can only be with like kind of either the team who drafted you or the team you got traded to. Like it's got weird complications.
Okay, I think that Russ Westbrook got it, and I think it's gonna get like
Westbrook got it.
54 million on his last year.
And next year, the big one eligible next year will be Anthony Davis. So that'll be a big one.
Yeah. Man, I don't know why when you said Anthony Davis, my brain quickly moved to Antoine Walker. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? They're like, why?
Very similar players. Okay, cool.
All right, man.
I'm not wrapping up the podcast before I asked the question.
You got the question.
Last week. So it's a simple one. We're going back to, I guess we're getting into the All-Star game season. So I'm going to ask you a question similar to the one you asked me in the first episode. For those who don't remember, please check out our first episode. But do you think that the best sophomore from this year, De'Aaron Fox, is going to make the All-Star game this year? Yes or no?
No.
No. Wow. So you're not impressed by the Kings?
I love him.
Being in the playoff contention and
he's not
De'Aaron Fox.
I'm talking about the Western Conference, dude.
So not even in the reserves?
No.
Not making it?
No. I don't think he's playing.
No love
he's
to
playing
De'Aaron
a
Fox
great season, but he's not playing that kind of season that you need to play in order to make it to the top 12.
Okay. All right. Cool.
I'd be interested to know what you think. Maybe because I was watching him last night in the against the Blazers, and I wasn't impressed by his performance in,
Yeah, I think he didn't have a great game last night, but
he's playing a phenomenal season. I think he's on his way to be an All-Star. He's not there yet.
All right, next season then.
Fair enough, man. Cool. I just want to give a shout out to my new hat, Denver Nuggets City Edition. Thank you, Giorgio, my best friend from Italy. Really happy. I got some new merchandising this week. I got 5 City Edition T-shirts here in Italy. I just want to.
Denver is at the top of the ladder that you're rocking the hat right now.
Pardon? What did you say?
Is that because they're at the top of the ladder, the top of the West?
Oh no! They just love the design. They are like Giorgio and his girlfriend are big into designs, into logos, and they really love the City Edition. I think they have like 3. I think they have 1 hoodie, the Miami Heat, 1 hat, and 1 T-shirt, Miami Heat, because they just love the colors. So,
stop making me jealous.
Yeah, sorry, man. But anyway, thanks so much. I had a lot of fun. I'm doing them again. So I'm just gonna stop this amazing podcast, the first of the year, the first of many. Let's see if we can get to 52 podcasts this year. I look forward to doing podcasts with you on a weekly basis. Thank you so much for joining me in this adventure. I just want to remind you guys, we are on Twitter, we are on Spotify and on iTunes. Please review us. Please make us happy. Please help us going to the top of the NBA podcast space. That's it for the week. Thank you so much, Samy. Say hi to Melbourne. Give a big hug to your family, to your beautiful daughter. I miss you guys, and I hope to see you this year.
Hopefully we'll see you, and I'll see you too, and we'll make a podcast live rather than through computers and audio. But it was nice to have you on board again. Thank you, and see you next week.
See you next week, and that's a pretty good yearly resolution for 2019. Peace out, man.
Peace.
Bye bye.